Now, first off, I want to let you all know that we're going to be using Nearpod for part of the session. And what's going to happen is I'm going to put the link. And so I'm going to share my screen right now. And you should be able to see my entire screen starting at about now. It's coming on. And what you notice at the top up here is you have the different tabs. I'm going to go ahead and go to my Nearpod. And the Nearpod that we're going to be using is called Record Yourself. This is on today's session. And notice how I am actually in Nearpod now in my library. I'm going to go in and I'm going to start a live lesson. Now, don't worry about the code. We're going to do something different with this. Once I get started, I'm going to go ahead and put that link up on the Google Meet. So don't worry yet. I'm going to get the link now. You see I'm clicking on the link. And I'm going to copy that link. Once it's copied, I'm going to close this out. So don't worry about the code yet. And then in the Meet, in the chat, I'm going to put that link in. So I'm going to click into the chat. I'm going to right click. I'm going to paste the link. And I'm going to send it now. And what's going to happen is you're going to click that link and it's going to open up a new tab. And that tab will allow you to run the Nearpod lesson. And you're going to be in the live session. So at the top, right now I'm in the Nearpod. Right now I have 0 people. So go ahead and click on that link. All right, we're starting to come on in. Very good. Misha, how many am I expecting into the Nearpod?
Oh, there's quite a few on this list. I don't have the list in front of me. Last time I counted, I think we were at right around 50, but you know, some people may have gone to the other session, and you know how that goes.
Oh yeah. Right now I show that we have 27 people in this session.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead, and I had a couple of people join right now, so I'm going to go ahead and paste it in again, just so that's in there. Go ahead and click on that link, and I'm going to go on to the Nearpod side. And so notice, and I want you to notice this carefully, at the top, there's the Nearpod link, the tab, excuse me. And with that Nearpod, we're going to be bouncing back and forth. So when you want to go into the Meet, I say, okay, join your Meet, you're going to click on the top where that Meet tab is. And that's going to take you back here. Then I'm going to have you bounce back to the Nearpod. And at times, I'm going to even have you start up a new tab. We have 15 people already joined the Nearpod. We're going to wait for a few more. We have about 12 more. We're up to 16. Please go ahead and go into the chat. Go ahead and click on that link so that you can join. We have 17 people right now, and we have 29 people minus the 2 is 27. So that's what I'm expecting to be in the Nearpod session. I like using Nearpod in our sessions because it's interactive. It's just a presentation tool that you can engage with. This is not about Nearpod, though. This is actually about recording yourself, and it's video recording basics with Screencastify. We're up to 17 people.
We've got about 28 people in here with us.
Okay, so we're looking at 26. Yes. I'm still waiting on 9 more people to join. Please go ahead and jump in. I'm going to wait 1 more minute before we get going. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Misha, if you could every so often, go ahead and put that link back in just to make sure we don't miss it. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, let me go ahead and copy that.
This session is being recorded, just as a reminder. So we are going to be recording it. Once we have the video out, we're going to go ahead and put it up on our website. That way you can revisit. Or for those that didn't have the opportunity, they will have the opportunity to join and watch the video. And I'm going to start this off with a question. How can creating videos supporting online learning? How can creating videos support online learning? Go ahead and put in your own words. How are you going to utilize creating videos? Screencastify videos. Go ahead and respond. This kind of gives me an idea of the direction that we go in. Okay, we have about 11%. Okay, we're up to 15, 30. Very good. Thank you so much for participating with us.
And we have some people also that are replying in the chat.
Very good. All right, just realize that we have the Nearpod tab at the top, and we also have the Meet meeting. Both ways will work.
Yes.
We're at 70%. How many do we have that completed on the Meet side, Misha?
We have 30, but minus 2, because minus you and me. So we've got about 28 people in here right now.
All right, perfect. And I see some of your answers. For example, students can use as a reteach. Students can watch instructions being presented as many times as needed. Oh, absolutely. To give specific instructions, so allow students to refer to instructions. Very good. We have students can watch instructions being presented as many times as needed. Yes, of course. Students are able to pause when needed. Oh, good point. I present musical activities. Very good. Absolutely. It makes it more interesting for students.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. It will help students who did not get the live lessons the first time. Very good. All right. And all these answers are correct. Some of us might be flipping our classrooms. Some of us is a point about that students can access the information when they need the information. And that's critical. Absolutely. And so what do you get with the free version of Screencastify? And I got this from the Screen website, from Screencastify. You can record your screen and webcam. You can trim your videos. You can auto-save to Google Drive. Mm-hmm. You can export as an MP4, a GIF, and MP3. You have full HD resolution. There's no watermark. In the past, there used to be a little watermark. You have some of the annotation tools, and you publish to YouTube. And that comes with the free version. There is a pay version. The pay version allows you to record more than 5 minutes. It allows you to go ahead and have a little more editing tools, so you can bring together multiple videos at one time. And it has a lot of that. I'm going to go back up to the top. And I want to show you on the website here. And when I'm up here, here's you have the different, it's just screencastify.com. And you have the products where you can record, edit, submit, and all that. But I want you to notice for school. And I wanted you to see this now, because if you have any questions or need help with something, of course you could reach out to us. But there's actually the overview that tells you a little bit about Screencastify and the essential tools for blended learning. It has some news, and it'll tap into that more information. But you have courses. And on these courses, you have Master the Screencast. Learn the basics of Screencastify and some popular ways to use video with students, colleagues, and parents. Very similar to what we're doing today. Then below that, you have the Genius, which is learn how to marry Screencastify with Google Apps. And Misha, guess who does this one?
Yeah, I was just going to say, look who the instructor is. One of my most favorite people in the world, Alice Keeler.
Absolutely. And it's actually a class that you can get different badges with.
Yes.
So if I click on Get Started, notice how it works. You start the courses, and you have the different components to each course, and then you get a certificate of completion. And guess what? You get a certificate certificate of completion with this course also. Just going to
Yes.
give you the heads up. Now I'm going to go back into the Nearpod lesson. I'm in the Nearpod, go into the next one. And Screencastify is actually an extension. Notice at the top here, I'm going to point it out right there with that little arrow. Now you might see it, you might not right now. Notice on my screen, it's actually at the top of the bar, and it's right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up, and this is a link that I want you to open. And notice when you open it, it might say add to Chrome, or it might say that you already have it. So I want you to open it up and open up that link. Take a look, and just to make sure that you have it. Now I'm going to give you a heads up. There might be some issues with getting the extension. One, it could be possible that you're not updated all the way in your browser. And we're going to start troubleshooting in just a moment. I'll show you some of the things to look for. So make sure you have it. It might be that you haven't used it in a long time, and it might be in sleep mode. So it shows that you have it, but it's not, you don't see it present. So if you need to, go ahead and let's do some troubleshooting. If you go into the three dots up in here on the top right corner, and I click on it, and I go down to more tools. When I go into more tools, and then I go into extensions. Now, these are extensions that you have on your browser. Notice, first off, that I am logged into this browser as me, William Snyder. But what's important is I'm in as my district account, wsnyder@yc.net. That really is important, because when it saves into Google Drive, it automatically goes into your district Google Drive where you have access to. You also have access to your Google Classroom. And so that just makes everything so much easier. Now I'm in my tools, and as I scroll down, I'm looking at all my extensions that I have, and I'm going down, and here's my Screencastify. Now, the Screencastify for now is turned on because the toggle's up to the right. You might see it like Nearpod eyes. You notice how this one's to the left. That means it's turned off, and it's not showing at the top. So that's how you know, first off. The second thing in troubleshooting, what I recommend doing is you go to the three dots. You're going to go all the way down to settings, almost all the way down. You're going to go into settings. And as I go down to the bottom, or actually to the left, it says About Chrome. And when I click on it, it's going to tell you what version you're at. I have good news. For most of us, we're using Windows devices because we're high school. So you shouldn't have as many issues with the updates, but make sure that you run the updates as we go. And I'm not talking about the session, but throughout you're using your device. So that way everything just works seamlessly. So those are some of the troubleshooting. If you're not updated all the way, for some reason you're using a Mac, and I want to give you a number. It's 434-1010. And for most part, they can come in and help you get updated with your device. And a lot of times they have access to get into your device to support you. So it's a good number to have, and it's our help desk there with TIS. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. I'm going to close out my extensions, and I'm back into the Nearpod. So we're going to go into the next one. And we're going to dive in now on how to use Screencastify. Some of the things that we did already is the troubleshooting. We're going to go into the settings of Screencastify. We're going to start recording and saving your video. Misha, do we have any questions on the chat side?
No, they're just making the comments about being able to reteach, all the same stuff that we've already gone over.
Okay, very good. So to start a screen recording, you go ahead and you click up to the top. Now, don't do this yet. Not yet. I want to show you what it looks like and how to make it work. And so if I click on Screencastify up at the top, it opens up. and this is what you have. Notice I have the free version, so it gives me 5 minutes limit per video. Notice if I click on Browser tab, what it's going to record is whatever is in on the tab of my browser. I really don't recommend it, but you have it. So when I click on it here, all it's going to record is this tab, this window. If I click on desktop, it's going to record everything that's on the desktop as long as I have my Chrome open. Notice the webcam. When I click on webcam, what it's going to do is it's going to record my webcam only. So it's just going to be my face. And there are times when that's a good idea. If you're reading something to students and it's a book, a chapter, you just want to make a point, this is something good to do also. And if I click on desktop, that's what I'm going to focus in on. When I look down here, you see where it says microphone? This is where, and notice the status bar is going up and down. And if you connect a second device, an audio recording device, and right now I have a Yeti connected to my computer. So when I click down here, it gives me the options of what it is you want to connect. If you took a pair of headphones that had the little microphone on it, you would see those on your device, on the settings. Right here is my internal microphone. Here's, I'm going to go ahead and record with this Yeti microphone. The eShare is something when you connect into your boards, but disregard if you have it at all. And so I'm going to use my Yeti and then notice webcam. Now, when I open it up here, it's going to go ahead and when it's time to record, it's going to go ahead and give me a little box where it shows me as well as my computer screen. If you click on select on the section onto the right, click on it, it depends on what camera you wanted to use. So right now I'm using my FaceTime camera. But what if you used a video conferencing camera that you happen to have? This is where you would select it. And many video conferencing cameras come with microphones. So please keep that in mind. We're going to use a FaceTime camera. Enable drawing tools. When I click on that, what it's going to do is going to read and change all the data on the websites that you visit, but it's going to give me the opportunity to annotate over. Okay, so I'm going to hit allow. So I click in. Let me click. What did I do? Okay, there it goes. And so I'm ready to go, and I can hit record. So when I click on record, right now, I'm recording my screen. And notice to the right corner, you see my face. And that's where you see, that's where you, when you go into YouTube and you see those support videos where you have the person there at the bottom, that's what you're seeing here because I turned on that component. So now I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to use my entire screen, and then I hit share. I like showing my face when I'm doing it with students because they see you, they see your expressions, and it almost gives them the feeling that you're there watching them, even though in reality, of course, you're not. So I'm going to click on share, and it's going to give me a countdown. So right now it's recording as I go. And if I want to go ahead and stop recording, I can go to the top here, click on it, give it a minute. And I can go ahead and stop. And now it's stopped the recording. Give it a minute to load. And there's my video. But you don't hear audio. That's because here in the settings, I have the microphone turned off. Give it a minute. And there it goes. And I can go ahead and stop. All right. But I want you to notice right over here, these little scissors. So if I slide this over here, I can cut a little bit from the trim it if I wanted to. I can go over to this side. Move it to where I want it. And then I can do some trim. And to save it, I would just click on Save. So you don't have a lot of editing capabilities, but you do have that trimming capability. Now, the power of that is, let's say I'm using a presentation tool like Google Slides, or I'm using PowerPoint. I can use PowerPoint with this also. And then I want to trim it so that when I first got started or when I close. So you have that. Notice up here where it says Google Drive. Automatically, it's going to put it into my Google Drive. I can copy that shareable link and I can send it as an email. Down here is my sharing also. How to share to Google Classroom. Automatically, if I click on Share to Google Classroom, because it's tied to my Google account, it's going to ask you, okay, there you go. It's going to open up my Share to Classroom, opens up my Google Classroom, and I'm going to make sure I pick the class that I want to have it to. Let's go with Nearpod, third session. Choose action. I can make it as an announcement. I can create it as an assignment. I'm going to go ahead and click Create as an assignment. Then I hit Go. And it opens up the Google Classroom. It opens up the assignment component in Google Classroom. And notice here where it says All Students. So let's say I have a student, I'm a world history teacher, and they're struggling with this one area in ancient Egypt. And I go in and I say, okay, you know what? There's a few students that are really struggling. I'll click here and it's going to show you the list of all your students. And I can give it to who I want it to have. So I click on, I take it off from all students, and I can pick the ones that I want to give it to. I'm not going to do it right now. I don't want to freak anybody out. I'm going to close it. And that way I can share it. Notice at the top here, this is the title. I can click on it and I can change the title of this video. As I scroll down, if I wanted to trash it, I can click delete and I can trash it. One thing though, you don't get caught up in the video has to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're never perfect. When we're in front of the class, we'll stutter on a word or two. I'm really good at that. But that's okay. That's part of your personality. That's part of who you are. And you want to keep it real for your students. And so that's what I kind of recommend. If there's a major issue, of course you would delete it and go ahead and practice and start anew. But don't get caught up in it, because what happens is you just keep redoing it, and you never reach that perfection. And it doesn't have to be. Once I go ahead and I have it, let's say I've done a few Screencastifies, and I want to see where my videos are at. I'm going to open up a new tab here. I'm going to go into my apps launcher. I'm going to go to Google Drive. And when you tie it to your district account, it's going to give you a folder. And that folder is called Screencastify. I'm going to go ahead and open it down. I'm going to take a look. And typically it's in Alpha. And I'm going to go ahead and open up Screencastify. I'm going to go slow, make sure I find it. And there it is. So when I double click on it, and here's all my videos that I've created. Notice this video right here. I'm going to click it, open it up. Misha, can you see it okay?
Yes.
Okay.
You can see it fine.
And now it's recording my voice.
Now, this I used Google Slides, and I changed the format of the slide to be the shape of a book. So when I click play.
What is My Favorite Pet by Larry Snyder? My favorite pet is the dog. My favorite.
So could you imagine where you have your students create a presentation and they use Screencastify to show what they know, or they put audio to a book, or possibly you have a presentation, a small little ebook that has your audio on it also. Maybe you're a language acquisition teacher, so you build one in Spanish, English, German, Russian, Chinese. We have a music teacher here. What if we have where the students are recording them playing the instrument?
My boys did that.
They did. How did that go?
That went fine. That was part of their assignment. Their teacher gave them an assignment to record in Screencastify and turn it into her.
All right, very good. So when talking about creating videos, it does not stop at the teacher. It doesn't. Our students can create this also, as well as our admins. How about creating a welcome video for our teachers coming back to school? What about creating a step-by-step on how we go into the cafeteria? There is so many different ways to use this. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out, but that's where your videos are located. Now here I am. I'm back into my Screencastify, my main screen. I can change the title, but I'm going to go ahead and close it. And so we talked about settings. That's how to set up your microphone. We talked about recording, how to do that recording, and saving your video. So now I want you to watch a video. And when you're doing videos in a meeting like what we are now, it is not recommended. I played one for you to show you what I created, but it really is not recommended when you're doing this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow you for all devices. And we're going to go ahead and watch this video. So when I go all devices, you're going to be able to click on the video and watch this teacher and what they created. And for most part, I really believe this is a good video. So I want you to go ahead and watch it. It's a little over 5 minutes. And remember the 5-minute rule for Screencastify. We have the free version, so it needs to be less than 5 minutes. But that's okay, because you don't want to have a long video. Our students, in fact, we also tune out if it's too long. So it's really highly recommended to keep it under 5 minutes. But this one is a little bit over, but I did like it. And so I'm going to go ahead and put it on all devices. And what I want you to do is click on it and watch this video. So I'm going to shoot it out to you. So when you click on it, you can actually watch the video. So watch this high school and go ahead and hit play. It is right now 10:29, and we're going to come back at 10:30. Excuse me, 10:35. All right, I think most of us had the opportunity to watch the video. I'm going to go on to the next. And what this is what's called the Collaborate board. And we're going to go ahead. I want you to go in, and I want you to type in what you thought. Would you like to approve students' comments? I'm going to put no. And in retrospect, I want you to think about this video. What worked for this teacher and not worked with this video? So I want you to kind of think about this video. What do you think was positive? What worked? And what might not have worked? Go ahead and type in your ideas. To do that, all you go ahead and do is type in your comments here, and then you go ahead and post. Good. Yeah, Debbie, I agree. I like the humor. Interesting and funny. Yeah. Engaging. Yeah, there was so much info there. And I liked, some of y'all were talking about his personality came out. He has a big personality. He does. And he liked the way he joked around. It almost made you feel like you were in class with him. And it was interesting. Yvette, yeah, you caught that. What didn't work was he kind of was talking a little bit too fast. He got overly engaged and was going a little bit too quick. I agree with that. Again, going back to his personality was a real positive. Very good. The speed that he was talking was irritating. Yeah. Can you imagine a student struggling, a Spanish student trying to understand? Yeah, absolutely. He provided a lot of information in a short period of time, and he was very energetic. But yeah, you're right. He can come back, Morgan. He can come back, and students can watch it over and over and over again. And so, no, all of this is true. And I wanted you to see a teacher video that was created. Now, he has created quite a few. And it's a good idea to go back and take a look at some examples. So when you create a video, one thing that he did that we don't get with the free version, did you notice how he showed his face first and then went to his screen? That capability we don't have, but you can create more than one video. For example, on the first video, you can talk about what you're going to go over in the video, and you can have a face-to-face, kind of like what he did with you, the student. And so you could talk about some of the things that you're going to go over. And then below that could be that video of showing the different images and slides that he was using. I'm not sure what presentation tool he used. It kind of looked like to me that he was using Google Slides, but it might not have been. It might have been PowerPoint. It could have been Keynote. All of those will work. And so it's what's best, what you feel most comfortable with. Thank you so much for putting your ideas out there. Thank you. Now, how to share your videos is also important. And I kind of gave you that, what the first look like. Simple link to the video conferencing tool. So you can copy that link, paste it in Google Meet where the students can watch the video on the second tab. You can share it with Google Classroom. You can add video to the presentation. So for example, if I create a video, put it in Google Drive, then I go ahead and share the presentation with my students. That'll work. And guess what? We all have a YouTube account that we can go to. So let me show you. Let's go in and let's create a video. I'm going to hit the plus sign here. And I'm going to go ahead and click and I'm going to go into Google Slides. I'm going to let it open up. And I'm going to find let's go ahead and go with copy of Story Attack. I'm going to click it, open it up. Let it load. And here is a presentation called Thunderbird Story Attack. And I didn't create this. I don't want anybody to think I did. And notice how it has the shape of the book. Here I have information group regrouping practice. This is a math assignment. Here we have the different parts. But if I want to go ahead and record and do this, and for those of you that are not sure how I got this format, if I go to the top under Edit, I think it is. Misha, remind me, where's the settings for the page settings? I think it's under File. And it is under Document Details. Yes. And when I click on Document Detail, no, that's not it.
You're looking for where the page settings are? It's going to be under the upgrade.
It's under where?
Under the upgrade. Is that what you're talking about, right?
No, on the document page layout.
Oh, for the page layout. Yeah, that's going to be under page setup.
Page. Oh, there it is. Duh.
Yeah.
Okay. Under page setup. I click on it.
I was hearing pay setup, and I was like, well, that's going to be in the Screencastify.
Yeah. No. And in case you needed to see how I set up the page, I put it as custom, and I put 8.5 by 11. You can control the setup of the page. Your students can too. And then hit apply. So now I have my presentation. And let's say I'm going to record with this presentation. So I click on the first one. And I'm going to go ahead and click on my Screencastify. So when I click on it, here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go do the desktop. I'm going to go ahead and not do the webcam. I'm not going to put my face on it. I'm going to turn that off. And then I'm going to hit record. Now, while it's doing the countdown, I'm very quickly going to go ahead and do present screen. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit share. It's going to do the countdown. And now you see I have the screen, and it's actually recording my voice right now. I can go into the different parts. So I can talk about regrouping practice, study these posters before you begin the math activity. And so I can go over, maybe this is a book that I've written to turn into my teacher. Maybe this is a vocabulary that as a teacher, I'm giving it to my students. Maybe it's how to do something. Maybe it has to do with world history. That's up to you. I'm going to go from page to page, and we can talk about regrouping or whatever it is I'm working on. And I'm going through the different pages. And when I'm done, and there's two ways I can turn off the recording. I can click in here, but I can also click, and I know you see this part where it says stop sharing. That's the me part, but it's going to put another side where, it zoomed out. It's right here. Screencastify screen is sharing your screen, and I'm going to go ahead and at the top, and there's a stop, but I'm going to click up here. I clicked away too fast. And I'm going to stop recording. So now, right now, it's going to build that video. I'm going to click to unmute it. And it's actually recording my voice right now. I can trim it to the exact point that I want it to the two sides. I can preview in full screen if I wanted to. And that's how I'm using Google Slides to do the recording. So just like the teacher you saw, you create the presentation, you have the graphics that you want, and then you do your presentation. Remember how we share it. I can get this copy of the shareable link. I can put in the Google Meet. I can email it to my students. Yeah, that'll work. But here's where the power comes in. Shared classroom. In Google Classroom, they have access to it. And what's really nice is once you create these videos, they're in your Google Drive in the Screencastify folder. And you can use them the next year, the year after that. And every so often, of course, you need to redo them because of different skills, the way everything changes, but you have them if you need them. But I want you to notice publish to YouTube. You have a YouTube channel. You have control. And if I click on publish to YouTube here, it's going to ask you here's under William Snyder, under my account. If I click in, that's the account I have. Don't put in your personal one. And notice where it says private. Only you can view this video. If I click it down, I can do public. Be careful with public. That means anybody can find it if they do a search. The one I like is unlisted. Then I go ahead and I can click upload. And right now, all right, failed. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my YouTube account. Let me show you where it's at. I'm going to click on my Google Apps. I'm going to go down, go to YouTube. Okay. I'm making sure I'm in my district account here. Yep, that's my district account. And notice this little plus create. Now, it did not go through the way out with the link. But if I hit create here, I can go to upload video. Okay, so it failed at one time. Maybe I don't have enough bandwidth because I'm on this meeting. And I think that's what it was.
I kind of think so, yeah.
And right here where it says select files. Yeah, I'm going to click it. So if I have a video that's on my screen, I can go there. Let me go back in. Cancel. So that's my desktop. If I wanted, okay, Misha, remind me, how do I get to my drive to bring it in from Drive?
You click on the select files, and then it'll say where do you want to get your files from, and then over onto the left side you see desktop, documents, and then that's where you're going to find your file that you want to.
Yeah.
Now this is how you upload a video into YouTube.
Okay. How would I grab it from my Google Drive to bring it in?
Since it didn't want to work because I think because we're in this Meet situation, you would have to download it to your drive and then upload it. But if you go back into the Screencastify, because I'm thinking we might be able to try it again.
Okay, publish to YouTube.
So now you're back in there. So go ahead and click on to publish to YouTube, and see it's going to want to go to Innovative Learning, which is fine. Make it unlisted.
Mm-hmm.
And you shouldn't.
I think it's because we're doing.
You know what? And also, because you're in your channel and it's trying to publish it to the Innovative Learning channel. I bet you if you put in your channel, it will. It could, because everybody will be using their own channel. But that's how we have 2 or 3 different channels because we,
all right,
put these things together all the time. So that's what it is. It's getting confused, but then it would actually go through the process of asking him for the title and all of that.
Well, what you can do when you go into your Google Drive, you can actually download. And Misha's correct. I can download it to my computer and then re-upload it. So if I click into here, I'm going to go into my drive. And I'm having these issues, and my gut is telling me it's because we're doing the meet at the same time.
Yes.
And if I go into my Screencastify folder here, and I find the video that I want, let's say it's this one. Okay, and notice right up here.
This is Larry Snyder. I'm just
from here, you see where you click it, where it says download? And what it'll do is going to download this video to my computer, and then at YouTube, you can upload it.
Yes.
But most likely, you're not doing a meeting at the same time. So when you go to the top,
it should take you right in. It's not going to be confused like it is right now for us.
All right. So that's how you can get it into your YouTube channel. Once you're in the YouTube channel, then you have some control about being unlisted again and all of that. So you do have that capability. So let's go back to my Nearpod that we're in. How to share your videos. I'm going to click to the next one. And here we're going to get to the point of questions. And so using the Collaborate board, I want you to put your questions in that you might have, and then we'll start answering the questions. Are we going to approve the student response comments? I'm going to put no. So if you have any questions, go ahead and post your questions.
And we're down to about 9 minutes, Larry.
Okay,
So
thank
just
you.
to let you know. And I'm going to be putting the link in for you to get your badges and your certificate. I'll be putting that in just a couple of minutes.
Very good. I'm sure we have some questions. Can we please do these classes all year? You know what? I think there's some ideas about doing that. And we are going to be uploading videos up, absolutely, for you to have.
The higher ups have been looking at our numbers and which are absolutely incredible. How many people are signing up for all of these little mini Monday sessions, and they're rethinking how we're doing PD. And so because of all of your interest, you may have helped to change the way we do PD in the district. Thank you.
I'm glad you're enjoying this session. In a lot of ways, there are little minor challenges. When you're doing a meet the way we did in the YouTube link, and I apologize for that. I did work with this where I wasn't doing a meet, and it worked with no issues.
It does. Yeah, it works really, really well. And if you need more information on YouTube or anything else, you can always email me. I do have some documentation on that kind of stuff that I can help with. So feel free to reach out.
Yep, on-demand PD. And you know, think about it. You can do this with your students, creating little short videos on how to create whatever it is that you want them to create. So keep that in mind. Yep. I like the shorter PDs too, actually.
Yeah.
We do have some summer HE that are quite long. But yeah, the smaller ones are awesome.
And our whole method is to keep you all engaged. So, you know.
And you know what? You do get caught up on perfection. And don't.
Yeah.
Just let it out. Let it out.
I've just gotten over the fact of how I look in video, so I just don't even look at myself anymore. And I just say, you know what, this video is not for me, so I'm putting this out for somebody else. And if they don't like the way I look, well, I can't change the way I look, so I just go with it.
And you know, for us older teachers, I'm with you. I've been in the district now 31 years. I feel your pain, but you know what? Shout out to y'all to change the way we do what we do. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I thank you all for what you're doing and for what you did for our students throughout the semester. This was
we've had to transform ourselves in a 2-month period, you know, and that's quite amazing that we were able to do that.
And Ms. Nieto, yes, there are some applications out there that you can merge videos together. That is possible.
Mhm.
And in fact, Misha, can't you do that on YouTube?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, because as we were going through this, I was thinking, I probably should make a tutorial on the wonderful things you can do just within YouTube, because there's quite a few things you can do. You can add cards, you can add music, and you're not going to get in trouble for using YouTube's music. There's a lot of stuff you can do there.
Yep.
It's a very, very valuable tool for us.
Yep. Mr. I understand about the transparencies. My first year I actually did dittos.
Yes, I remember those back in the day.
One thing about your YouTube channel, and I'm going to give you a heads up, to be careful of, don't rename your channel. Keep it the way it is. It's named by your email, but keep it the way it is, because if you change it, you put it like Eastwood Knowles Football, then that's called branding, and you can lose your channel. So don't do that, please.
We've had to contact them for several different campuses for teachers that have tried to brand, and in the beginning they're kind of like, yeah, we'll turn the channel back on, but now they're kind of like, no, your teachers should know now not to do that anymore. So we're trying to let everybody know, please don't do that. We don't want your channel to get shut down. Absolutely
not. And do take advantage. Play with it. Go ahead and play with it. The next link,
I just put it in there, and I'm going to put it in there again, is for the badges.
Okay.
There it is there.
All right. And so I'm going to click on the next. And from here is the link to the badges. But if you go into the Meet, that will open up your badges also.
Yes.
So it's on Nearpod, if you're on this tab, and on the other, you can go in on the other. And if I went too fast, I apologize. Trying to keep this into a 1 hour is not easy. But yes, we are going to put the links up for you. And the last Monday, many Mondays are there. I did have some issues with my recording. It didn't record. I had quite a few people and it didn't record. But I got another one coming this afternoon that I'll put up also. So yes, we will have them up. Absolutely. And please feel free to go over this over and over again. Take a look at it. Practice. And if you have any questions, if you need to come into our Meet, we do have a Meet that's always open for you to join. And so please feel free to join us there.
I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now since our session is officially over. But if there's more questions, of course, we will stay here and answer them.
Absolutely. And if you'd like to post your questions in the Meet, in the chat, we're there also.